Hi, I'm Jayline. I'm a drum and bass producer and DJ from Basildon in Essex. I make music for Sound Bully Audio, Low Down Deep and Lined Up International. I'm here today to share with you some of my tips for making your very own drum and bass track.
Pull up that! Thames Delta!
Easy guys, welcome back. So, another quick little video. Now we've got our drum loop, we want to throw some bass in. So, we have been given a sample pack from Low Down Deep. Thank you very much, Logan. But just to give you a quick idea of what comes in a sample pack, here are some of the sounds that are in the vital pack. So, these bass, absolutely crazy bass sounds. Nice Reese there. Got those big horns, like little bumpies. Right, but what we're going to be using today is number 9. Oh, nice little stab there. We're going to put a stab at the beginning of the loop for now, I think. I like to open with a stab and see where I go from that. Number 10, which is a nice drawn out sound. And this one. Some like alien spaceship stuff. Love it. So, first things first. We made our beat earlier on. I don't know if you're going to start with a beat from the beginning of your tune or whatnot. But what I like to do, once I've made my drums, I like to take my drum loop. I'm going to select all of those. And I'm going to move them to where my drop's going to be. So let's just say for this track, we're going to do a real short 16 bar intro. So I'm going to move my whole drum loop over to the 17th bar. And I'm going to move the loop as well. And this is just so, in my head, I've got my drop where I need it to be, you know. So we're going to start dropping sounds in here. So we're going to throw this in as our first sound. So just there like that. And like, if you want to make, this is the best way to get a quick idea together. And for those of you that have never done this before, never made drum and bass, this is a very good way to start getting into making the beats and just getting a structure right, you know. You don't have to learn how to make the sounds straight away. You don't have to get a drummer to come in and play you drum loops and record them. Like, there's so much stuff out there for you already put together for you to make music with straight away. The bass is all the way up there. So we're going to pick a start level for our bass as well, but I'm going to go just slightly higher at minus 9 dBs. We went to minus 10 before, but remember, we changed all the levels afterwards anyway. There we go. So we've got a nice opening sound. Lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in these bass sounds and see if I can make them into a little pattern. Let's go for 13 next. So I'm just going to drop it into Logic. So I'm saying Reason because I use Reason. There we go. So if I'm just going to whack that sound there like that. And as you can see, this bass sample has nothing at the beginning. So it's kind of a... There we go. So once again, that's way too loud. So we are going to, let me just make that a little bit bigger. There we go. If these levels ever disappear, it's because up here, the zoom is a little bit too small. So if you just zoom out, there you go, and you'll see them pop up. So I'm going to bring that down to the same level as the other bass, minus 9. If you can't get it, like I said, double click. Let's go minus 9. There we go. So we've got 2 sounds. Nice. So once again, let's put number 10 in there like this. And okay, so let's turn that level down to where we want it. Just hitting out, I think. So what I'm going to try and do right now is I'm just going to get this and do something what is called time stretching. So again, for all these people out there that don't know what time stretching is, that is literally the ability for you to grab the sample that you're using and stretch it. So I'm literally, see the way that changed then? When I just hover over the end of the sample, it will give me the end and then the arrows. And the arrows will allow me to make the box bigger or smaller, but it doesn't change the sample. So what we're going to do is hover over the end so you get that, and hold down the Alt button. When you hold the Alt button, you can time stretch. I can make it faster or smaller without changing the tone of the sound. So I'm just going to make that fill that box up. So let's have a look. That's much better. That end sample sounds much better now. But I think I might want to put them the other way around. So let's actually move that sample there and put this sample in front instead. Let's see what that sounds like now. Yeah, I think I prefer it that way, definitely. Now, from this point, what you'd want to do is start building up. So I'm just going to select everything that we've got there and copy that over. So we've got ourselves 2 4-bar loops now. And within a pattern, when you're making drum and bass, everything works in 16s or above, or multiples of 16s. So you couldn't work a drum and bass track if you want it to be played by DJs. You couldn't make it in a 8-bar succession, because 8 bars is not enough to make a full circle with drum and bass. So what we're going to do is work in 16-bar sections. But it doesn't mean that you can't do different things within those sections. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 16 bars over 4 sections of 4 bars. So right now we've got 2 sections of 4 bars in. I'm just going to copy them first 4 bars 4 times, just so we can get the pattern, kind of how we want our 16-bar pattern to be, because that's what we're going to be doing when we're making drum and bass. If you've got yourself a 16-bar pattern, you've got yourself a tune. We have now got ourselves 16-bar pattern. We have 3 sounds in there so far. We might want to smooth off some of the edges of these sounds, get the levels right. Maybe on one part, like I said, we're working in 16s, but you want to break those 16s down into 2 sections, possibly 4, but 2 sections is good. And by breaking these down, we're going to be doing something called transitioning. And what transitioning is moving from one place into another place, from one part to another part, seamlessly. So quite simply, what I'd probably do to make this easy for now is I'm going to take out the very end, half a bar, like that, of everything up to this point. So just to give me like a stop, if you like. Actually, not a half a bar, an eighth of a bar. So I want the snare to hit. So see where it's quite fiddly? You can always zoom in to make your work area easier to work with. So what I want to do is make sure that my snare is still hitting, but it's stopping. So this is just at the end of the 16, yeah? What do we want to do with samples at the end? Just grab them, come over here again, and just fade that end out, just so they're clean. And now there won't be a click at the end of the sample. And if you notice, it just kind of stopped there. And that bass sample there, let's bring that back a little bit as well so it stops together. Do a little fade out so it doesn't click. Like so. We've got a little stop at the end of the 8, but it carries on doing the same thing. If you can make a little section like this it's very easy to construct the rest of the track with just little minor changes. Let's take out that hi-hat there as well, because that's that. And now it should just do a little dead stop at the end. Did you hear that, yeah? So that's all I've done there. And it's a very, very simple trick when making music, just to have a little stop and then carry on. And then the ride comes in. It sounds a little bit repeaty. So within these 16 bars, I'd probably do your pattern for the first part. In the second part, do your pattern again. But see these last either 2 or 4 bars? You can make them slightly different. So it sounds more interesting when you come back to this again in the next 16. You can do the same thing with your bass if you want to, or you can slightly change it up. But you still need to transition from 16 to 16. And a really good way of doing that is just to change the last 2 or 4 bars of your bass in the 16. So I'm actually going to delete these last 2 bars for now. All right, that's kind of a cool sound. So let's pick that one. Let's put that on a new channel just at the end. And I want to make sure it comes after. So make sure it happens on the snare. So if I just click this over here. Right, that wants to hit on the snare. So always good to have a little play. All right, let's just loop that last part because we're working on it. Just like that. Right, so let's see what this sounds like if I stretch it to the end. So, once again, time stretch, you just get this little marker up like that. Hold down Alt so it changes. And just stretch it to where you want. So maybe let's just stretch it to that last snare like that. So. And all we've done is we've got that nice little pattern that we've thrown in. We've given ourselves a little gap there. So it's not, you don't have to do a gap. You could do something else there. You could take drums out and put a different break in to put like a little drum fill or a drum roll or something. You could even change the pattern slightly of the drums that are there already. Right, so now I like that sound at the end, but I think maybe I still want this sound. So I think it sounds better like that. And then we just get this sound at the end. All right, and then we'll take that away from there like that. So let's see what that sounds like. Oh, there we go. So now, where I've cut the back and front of this sound, I do want to maybe just come up and just give it a little slight fade in and out. And then that way there's no clicking on the sample. Oh, we move that out of the way. See, look, you'll make little mistakes sometimes. You think, oh, where's that sound gone? This is the part now where I'd probably, I'd stop here. I'd go on to finding my intro sounds, go on to finding sound effects and stuff like that to incorporate with what we've got here. But if we just move to the mixer quickly, just so we can have a quick overview of what's there. Remember I showed you something in the last video, the adaptive limiter. it's something that I like to use with the bass as well, because you can set that limit, that ceiling. So I'm just going to put an adaptive limiter on these channels here. And what I'm going to do is make sure that the limits are at a better place. So I need to turn that down a bit. And I like it coming through just a little bit, remember guys? So look, I'm just going to pump it 1 dB. Maybe half a dB. And it just went through the yellow a little bit. So that's good enough for me, because that gives me a perfect ceiling. That allows... And now I want all of my bass sounds to be hitting kind of around the same place. So let's put an adaptive limiter on this bass now, because that's the next one in the pattern. Right, so sweet. So let's get that last sound. Number 13, we'll put an adaptive limiter on that as well. Let's see where it's hitting. So that last sound we've got there as well, we'll work an adaptive limiter on that and see where that's hitting. We'll see how this last bit sounds against it, see where it's hitting on the limiter. There we go. So we've got our sounds in place. Now we know that our levels are in a good place. So yeah, that's how you throw in some bass, guys. So we are one step further on making our track. We are going to move on to the next part now. So I'll see you there.